A woman thinks she took your place, but heaven is about to reverse everything. My beloved child, I see the tears you hide behind your quiet smile. I hear the questions you never speak aloud. You wonder why someone else is standing where you once stood, why the place that felt like your home now feels distant, why the love you gave so purely seems to have been replaced so easily. You ask in the silence of your heart, was I not enough? But I tell you now, gently and firmly, you were never the one who was not enough. You were the one who loved with truth in a world that often confuses illusion for devotion. My beloved child, what you see with your eyes is only a small fragment of what is truly happening. You see her beside the person you once prayed for. You see her receiving the attention that once felt like yours. And it feels as if your story has been erased, as if your chapters have been torn from the book of destiny. But heaven does not write stories that end in replacement. Heaven writes stories of refinement, of protection, of divine redirection. You were not removed because you were unworthy. You were moved because you were too sacred to remain where your spirit was being slowly diminished. The love you gave was real, but the place where you gave it had become a lesson, not a home. And now, as you watch from a distance, it feels as though someone else has taken your crown. But crowns given by illusion are heavy and temporary, while the crown prepared for you is eternal and cannot be stolen. My beloved child, she believes she has taken your place. She believes the position she stands in is secure. She believes the smile she receives is a victory. But what she does not see is what heaven sees. Heaven sees the intentions of every heart. Heaven sees the tears you cried in private, the nights you asked for strength instead of revenge, the moments you chose silence instead of bitterness. And because of that, heaven has been preparing a reversal so powerful that it will not only restore your peace but reveal the truth of everything that has been hidden. Do not mistake silence for absence. While you have been healing, heaven has been moving. While you have been doubting, heaven has been arranging. Every delay you experienced was not rejection but protection. Every door that closed was not punishment but redirection. And now the very situation that made you feel small is about to become the testimony that reveals your worth. My beloved child, you must understand this: what is built on comparison cannot survive divine timing. What is built on taking someone else's place cannot withstand the weight of truth. You were never in competition with her, because your path was never meant to be a contest. Your path was meant to be a calling. There are things happening behind the scenes that you cannot yet see. Conversations you are not part of. Realizations awakening in hearts that once overlooked you. The illusion that once looked perfect is beginning to show its cracks. Not because you wished for it to fall, but because truth always reveals itself when the time is right. My beloved child, do not let jealousy poison your healing. Your power does not come from being chosen by someone who could not recognize your value. Your power comes from being chosen by heaven for something greater. The place you lost was never your final destination. It was a temporary assignment that taught you your own depth. You loved without conditions. You stayed when it was difficult. You gave when you received little in return. And although it seemed unnoticed, none of it was wasted. Every act of genuine love is recorded in the unseen realms, and what is recorded in heaven cannot be erased by human decisions. My beloved child, the reversal that is coming is not just about people or positions. It is about your identity being restored. It is about you seeing yourself through divine eyes instead of through the lens of rejection. You will not need to take back your old place, because by the time the reversal is complete, you will have outgrown it. The one who thought she replaced you will come to understand that she was only part of a lesson, not part of your destiny. And the one who failed to see your worth will face the realization of what was lost, not so you can return, but so you can be released completely. My beloved child, there is a new space being prepared for you, one where you will not have to compete for attention, where your presence will be honored, where your love will be reciprocated without confusion. But before you arrive there, you must release the belief that your value was tied to that old position. You are not defined by who stands beside someone else. You are defined by the light you carry within. And that light has only grown stronger through your pain. I know there were moments when you compared yourself, when you questioned your beauty, your worth, your uniqueness. But comparison is the language of insecurity, and you were never created to speak that language. You were created to embody authenticity, and authenticity cannot be replaced. My beloved child, the reason this feels so painful is because you loved deeply. And deep love leaves deep impressions. But do not confuse the depth of your love with the permanence of the situation. What felt permanent was only a chapter, and now the book is turning to a new page. There is a shift happening. You may not see it yet, but you can feel it in the restlessness that is pushing you to grow, to change, to step into something new. That restlessness is not anxiety, it is transformation. My beloved child, as this reversal unfolds, you will notice something unexpected. The desire to reclaim your old place will fade. The need for validation from those who overlooked you will disappear. Instead, you will feel a quiet confidence, a peace that does not depend on anyone's approval. You will realize that what you thought you lost was actually a release. What you thought was replacement was actually redirection. And what you thought was the end was actually the beginning of alignment. The woman who believes she took your place is only holding a position that was never meant to be permanent. When truth rises, illusions cannot stand. And when your path becomes clear, you will not even recognize the person who once begged to be chosen. My beloved child, do not rush this process. Healing is not a race. Growth is not a competition. Allow yourself to feel, to release, to forgive, not for their sake, but for your own freedom. Because the greatest reversal is not external, it is internal. It is the moment when you no longer seek to be chosen by those who could not see you. It is the moment when you choose yourself in alignment with heaven. And when that moment comes, everything else will fall into place. My beloved child, the story is not over. It is only now becoming what it was always meant to be. My beloved child, you have walked through days that felt longer than years, carrying memories that would visit you without warning. A song, a place, a small detail would bring everything back, and for a moment it felt as if the wound had never begun to heal. But even in those moments, something within you was changing. You were no longer the same soul who once depended on someone else to feel whole. You were becoming aware of your own sacredness, even if you could not yet fully see it. There were nights when you asked heaven, why was I not the one who stayed? Why was I the one who had to leave? And the answer has always been this: you were not the one who had to leave, you were the one who was lifted. You were lifted out of a place that could not honor your depth, your loyalty, your truth. It did not feel like lifting. It felt like loss. But many divine movements feel like loss in the moment and revelation later. My beloved child, the reason the pain felt so intense is because your heart is genuine. You do not love halfway. You do not give pieces of yourself, you give your whole spirit. And when a whole spirit is not received with the same purity, it feels like abandonment. But you were never abandoned by heaven. Even when you felt alone, you were being guided away from something that would have slowly dimmed your light. You look at her and wonder how she could step into something that once held your memories. You wonder if she knows the depth of what you built, the prayers you whispered, the hopes you carried. But you must understand, my beloved child, that someone can stand in the same physical place and still never touch the spiritual space you created. That space was yours. It still is. It exists in a realm no one else can occupy. What is happening now is not punishment for you, nor is it reward for her. It is simply the unfolding of truth. What is not built on genuine alignment cannot remain stable. You may not witness every detail of this unfolding, and that is a mercy. You do not need to watch something fall apart to know that you were protected from it. My beloved child, there is something beautiful happening within you that you have not yet fully recognized. You are learning to detach without becoming cold. You are learning to remember without reopening the wound. You are learning to bless what once hurt you, not because it was good, but because it led you back to yourself. The greatest shift is this: you are no longer asking, "Why was I replaced?" You are beginning to ask, "What is heaven preparing for me now?" And that question is the doorway to your next chapter. There is a restoration coming, but it will not look like the past. It will not be a return to what was. It will be an arrival into what should have always been. The connections that are meant for you will not make you feel uncertain. They will not make you question your worth. They will not make you compete for space. They will recognize you naturally, effortlessly, as if your presence was always expected. My beloved child, do not measure your journey by what you see happening in someone else's life. What appears stable from a distance may be fragile up close. What appears joyful may be sustained by pretense. You are not being asked to observe their story, you are being guided to write your own. There was a time when you would have done anything to be chosen again. But now you are being transformed into someone who does not need to be chosen by those who once overlooked you. This is not arrogance, this is awakening. You are beginning to see your own patterns, your own strength, your own boundaries. You are understanding that love should not require you to shrink, to beg, to wait in uncertainty. You are learning that your presence is a gift, and gifts are not meant to be placed where they are not valued. My beloved child, the reversal that heaven is preparing is subtle but powerful. It is not about public vindication. It is about private elevation. It is about you standing in a place of peace where the past no longer has the power to disturb you. One day, without effort, you will hear news, or see something, or simply feel a knowing, and you will realize that the situation you once cried over no longer has any hold on your heart. That will be the moment of true reversal. Not when someone regrets losing you, but when you no longer need their regret to feel complete. The one who thought she took your place will continue on her own path, learning her own lessons. You do not need to wish her harm or compare your journey to hers. Your paths are not the same, and your destinies are not connected in the way you once believed. My beloved child, forgiveness is not approval of what happened. Forgiveness is the release of the weight you were never meant to carry. When you forgive, you do not say, "It was right." You say, "I am free." And freedom is your true inheritance. There is a new confidence growing within you. It is quiet, but it is steady. It is the confidence of someone who has survived disappointment without losing the ability to love. It is the confidence of someone who has been broken open and discovered that their core is still whole. You are beginning to attract different energies now. People who notice your calmness, your depth, your authenticity. Opportunities that align with your growth. Moments of unexpected joy that remind you that your story did not end when that chapter closed. My beloved child, the love that is meant for you will not arrive as a replacement for what you lost. It will arrive as a revelation of what you deserve. It will feel peaceful, not confusing. It will feel safe, not uncertain. It will not ask you to prove your worth, because it will already see it. But before that arrives fully, you must complete this inner transformation. Release the last pieces of comparison. Release the need to understand why someone else was chosen. Release the belief that your value depends on being selected by a particular person. You are not waiting to be chosen. You are being prepared to be aligned. Every day that you choose healing over bitterness, you move closer to the life that was always meant for you. Every moment you choose self-respect over longing, you step into your true power. My beloved child, the reversal is already happening inside you. And as it continues, the external world will begin to reflect the new truth you carry within. My beloved child. You are standing at the edge of a transformation that your past self once prayed for, even if you did not know the words to describe it. There was a time when you believed happiness meant being seen by one particular person, being chosen in one particular moment, holding on to one particular story. But now your soul is expanding beyond those limits, and what once felt like everything is becoming only a small memory in the vastness of your becoming. I know there are still moments when the old questions return. Healing is not a straight path, it is a spiral. Sometimes you revisit the same feelings, but each time you return with more wisdom, more strength, more clarity. What once made you feel broken now only makes you pause. What once made you cry now only makes you reflect. This is growth, even if it feels slow. My beloved child, you must understand that your worth was never located in someone else's ability to recognize it. Your worth was placed within you long before you met them, long before that chapter began. Nothing that happened removed it. Nothing that happened reduced it. The only thing that changed was your awareness of it. There was a version of you who would have accepted less than you deserved just to avoid being alone. That version of you is fading. In her place is someone who would rather walk alone in truth than stand in illusion beside someone who cannot honor her spirit. This is not loneliness, this is sovereignty. The woman who thought she took your place is not your enemy. She is simply a symbol of a lesson you needed to learn, that your place is not a physical position beside someone, but a spiritual alignment within yourself. No one can take that. No one can replace that. No one can imitate that. What heaven is reversing is not a relationship but a perception. It is reversing the belief that you were left behind. It is reversing the narrative that you were second best. It is reversing the illusion that your story reached its peak in that moment. Your story is only now reaching its true beginning. My beloved child, you are about to notice how different you feel in situations that once triggered you. You will see their names, hear their stories, or remember the past, and instead of pain you will feel neutrality. That neutrality is not emptiness, it is peace. It is the sign that the wound has closed. You will also begin to see how much you have grown. The way you speak, the way you think, the way you protect your energy. You are no longer easily shaken by the opinions of others. You are no longer searching for validation in places that once ignored you. You are becoming rooted in your own identity. And as this rooting happens, new blessings will appear, quietly at first. A new connection that feels effortless. A new opportunity that aligns with your talents. A new sense of purpose that makes the past seem small in comparison. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. My beloved child, the love that is coming into your life will not arrive to fill a void. It will arrive to meet you in your fullness. It will not remind you of what you lost, it will show you why you had to lose it. It will not ask you to compete with anyone, it will recognize that there is no one else like you. By the time this love arrives, you will no longer be the person who once feared being replaced. You will be someone who understands that what is meant for you cannot be taken, cannot be imitated, cannot be delayed beyond its appointed time. There will also be a moment of realization regarding the past. You will see clearly the ways in which you were giving more than you were receiving. You will see how you ignored your own intuition because you wanted the story to work. And instead of feeling regret, you will feel gratitude for the lesson. Because that lesson created the version of you who now knows her value. My beloved child, do not rush toward the future in an attempt to escape the past. Allow the transformation to complete itself naturally. Continue to choose peace over comparison, growth over resentment, faith over doubt. You are not being asked to prove anything to anyone. You are being invited to live in alignment with your true self. And in that alignment, everything that belongs to you will find you. One day you will look back and realize that the moment you thought you were replaced was actually the moment you were redirected toward your destiny. You will see that if you had remained where you were, you would not have discovered your strength, your independence, your depth. The reversal heaven promised will not come as a dramatic event. It will come as a quiet knowing within your heart that you are exactly where you are meant to be. It will come as the absence of pain where pain once lived. It will come as the presence of peace where confusion once ruled. My beloved child, your life is not defined by who stands beside someone else. Your life is defined by the light you carry and the path you walk. And that path is now opening in ways you could not have imagined when you were still holding on to what was not meant to stay. Trust this unfolding. Trust the timing. Trust the transformation within you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not replaced. You are being restored, elevated, and aligned with a destiny that does not require you to compete for love but allows you to receive it freely. My beloved child. Everything is being reversed in your favor, not in the way your old self expected, but in the way your soul has always needed. My beloved child. Feel how different your heart is now compared to when this journey began. You may still carry memories, but they no longer control your breath. You may still remember the moments, but they no longer define your identity. This is the quiet miracle that has been unfolding within you while you thought nothing was changing. There was a time when you waited for a message, a sign, a return. You measured your worth by someone else's attention, and every silence felt like a verdict. But look at you now. The silence no longer frightens you. It has become a place where you meet yourself, where you hear your own truth more clearly than ever before. My beloved child, this is the true reversal. Not that someone comes back, not that someone regrets, not that someone finally sees what they lost. The true reversal is that you no longer need any of those things to feel whole. You have crossed an invisible bridge. On one side was longing, comparison, and the question, why not me? On the other side is peace, self-respect, and the realization, I was never meant to stay where I was not honored. Do you see now why heaven allowed things to unfold the way they did? If you had been chosen then, you would have remained in a place that required you to shrink. If you had been kept there, you would have continued giving your light to someone who could not recognize its value. What felt like loss was actually liberation. The woman who believed she took your place is no longer part of your emotional world. She exists only as a distant character in a story that has already ended for you. You do not need to compare, you do not need to question, you do not need to understand. Your peace does not depend on her reality. My beloved child, you are beginning to see yourself the way heaven sees you, whole, radiant, worthy without condition. You are no longer trying to earn love, you are allowing it. You are no longer chasing validation, you are embodying truth. And because of this, your energy has changed. You walk differently. You speak differently. You carry a calm strength that comes from having survived something that once felt impossible. People may not know your story, but they can feel your growth. There will be moments soon when you will be presented with opportunities that once would have intimidated you. Conversations that once would have made you nervous. Connections that once would have made you overthink. But now you will move through them with ease, because you are no longer afraid of being not enough. You have learned that you are more than enough for the right people, the right spaces, the right purpose. My beloved child, the love that is aligned with you is drawing closer. Not because you are searching for it, but because you have become the version of yourself who can receive it without fear. This love will not remind you of the past. It will feel new, calm, and certain. It will not ask you to compete with anyone's memory. It will meet you in the present. And when you experience it, you will understand why the past had to end. You will understand why the place you once begged to keep could never have held the life that is now unfolding for you. There will also be a deep gratitude that rises within you, not for the pain itself, but for the person you became because of it. You will see that your empathy has grown, your intuition has sharpened, your boundaries have strengthened. You will realize that you did not lose yourself, you found yourself. My beloved child, this is your closing chapter with that old story. Not with bitterness, not with regret, but with wisdom. You can bless what taught you, release what hurt you, and walk forward without carrying the weight of what is no longer yours. Heaven's reversal is complete when your heart is free. And your heart is becoming free now. You are no longer looking back to see who stands where you once stood. You are looking forward to the path that is opening just for you. A path where your presence is celebrated, where your love is returned, where your spirit is at home. Do not doubt this path. Do not rush it. Continue to live in the quiet confidence you have cultivated. Continue to choose yourself with kindness and patience. Because the greatest victory was never about taking back a place. It was about discovering that your place was always within your own divine alignment. My beloved child, you were never replaced. You were being prepared for a life that could only begin once you let go of what was never truly yours. And now you are ready. My beloved child. Now you are walking in a space where the past no longer has authority over your emotions. You remember, but you are not pulled back. You reflect, but you do not reopen wounds. This is the sacred balance that comes after true healing, the ability to honor your journey without becoming trapped in it. There was a time when you thought closure would come from a conversation, an apology, or an explanation. You believed you needed answers from outside yourself in order to feel peace inside. But heaven has shown you something deeper. Closure is not given by others, it is created within. You have given yourself the understanding you once waited to receive. You have given yourself the validation you once searched for. You have given yourself the love you once offered so freely to someone else. And because of this, you are no longer empty. You are full. My beloved child, do you notice how your thoughts have changed? You no longer wake up wondering what they are doing. You no longer measure your progress by their absence or presence. Your focus has shifted toward your own growth, your own purpose, your own joy. This shift is the true sign that heaven's work within you is complete. The story that once felt unfinished has reached its natural end. Not with dramatic confrontation, not with public revelation, but with quiet understanding. And quiet understanding is always more powerful than loud endings. You have also learned something invaluable: your energy is precious. Where you place your attention determines the direction of your life. And now you are choosing to place it on things that nurture you, uplift you, and align with your spirit. My beloved child, you are stepping into a season where your gifts will begin to flourish. The compassion you develop through pain will allow you to comfort others. The wisdom you gain through confusion will allow you to guide others. The strength you discovered through loss will allow you to stand firm in your purpose. Nothing you experienced was wasted. Every tear became insight. Every moment of doubt became self-awareness. Every disappointment became a doorway to a deeper connection with yourself and with heaven. You are no longer asking, "Why did this happen to me?" You are now saying, "Look at who I have become because of it." And that shift transforms pain into power. My beloved child, there will come a day, so ordinary that you might almost miss it, when you realize you have not thought about the past for a long time. You will be laughing, creating, loving, living fully in the present. And in that moment, you will understand that the chapter has truly closed. Not because you forced it to close, but because you outgrew it. The woman who once seemed like your replacement will no longer hold any meaning in your story. She will simply be part of a lesson that shaped you. And you will feel neither anger nor curiosity, only neutrality. That neutrality is freedom. You will also notice how naturally you attract respect now. People will listen when you speak. They will value your presence. They will sense your boundaries and honor them. This is not because you changed for them, it is because you changed for yourself. My beloved child, the life ahead of you is not a continuation of the past, it is a new creation. New connections, new opportunities, new experiences that align with the person you have become. You will no longer have to fight for a place in someone's life. The right spaces will open for you without struggle. And when love appears again, and it will, you will approach it differently. Not from fear of loss, but from confidence in your worth. You will no longer ignore red flags. You will no longer overgive in hopes of being chosen. You will meet love as an equal, not as someone seeking approval. This is the ultimate reversal. You are no longer the version of yourself who could be replaced. You are now someone who cannot be overlooked, not because you demand attention, but because your authenticity is undeniable. My beloved child, take a moment to honor yourself. Not the person you were before the pain, but the person you became because you walked through it. You did not allow bitterness to define you. You did not allow rejection to harden your heart. You remained open, kind, and true. That is rare. That is powerful. That is your victory. As you move forward, remember this truth: your journey was never about losing someone, it was about finding yourself. And now that you have found yourself, everything else will align naturally. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not second to anyone. You are exactly where you are meant to be, carrying a light that has been refined through experience and strengthened through faith. My beloved child, the story you once cried over has become the foundation of the life you now celebrate. And from this point forward, you walk not as someone who was replaced, but as someone who was awakened. My beloved child, there is a calmness surrounding you now that you once thought you would never feel again. It is not the calmness that comes from everything going perfectly, but the calmness that comes from knowing you will be all right no matter what happens. That is the kind of peace that cannot be taken from you, because it was built within you. You have stopped trying to rewrite the past. You have stopped replaying old conversations in your mind. You have stopped imagining different endings. And in doing so, you have given yourself the greatest gift: presence. You are here now, not trapped in what was, not anxious about what could have been. My beloved child, you have learned that your value was never dependent on someone staying. People come and go according to their own paths, their own lessons, their own readiness. But your worth remains constant. It does not increase when someone chooses you, and it does not decrease when someone walks away. This understanding has changed the way you see everything. You no longer chase. You no longer force. You allow what is meant for you to arrive naturally. And what is not meant for you no longer feels like a loss, it feels like protection. The space that once felt empty is now becoming sacred. It is the space where you are discovering your passions, your creativity, your purpose. It is the space where you are learning to enjoy your own company, to trust your own decisions, to honor your own intuition. My beloved child, you are no longer looking for someone to complete you. You are allowing someone to complement you. And that difference will transform every future connection you have. You will notice that you are more selective now, not from fear, but from wisdom. You listen to your inner voice. You observe actions rather than just words. You recognize your boundaries and respect them. This is not guardedness, this is self-respect. There was a time when you thought love meant endurance, sacrifice, and waiting. Now you understand that love also means reciprocity, clarity, and mutual effort. You no longer romanticize confusion. You no longer mistake inconsistency for depth. My beloved child, heaven did not remove you from that situation to leave you empty. Heaven removed you to create space for something aligned with your truth. And that space is now being filled, with growth, with purpose, with new possibilities. You are beginning to see your own potential more clearly. The talents you ignored, the dreams you postponed, the parts of yourself you set aside for someone else, you are reclaiming them now. This is your restoration. And as you reclaim these parts of yourself, you will feel a sense of joy that is independent of any relationship. You will realize that your life is rich with meaning, even without someone standing beside you. This realization makes you magnetic, because people are drawn to those who are whole within themselves. My beloved child, do not be surprised if people from your past begin to notice your transformation. Not because you seek their attention, but because growth is visible. They may not understand how you became so strong, so calm, so self-assured. But you will know, it was through every moment you chose healing over resentment. You will also notice that your perspective on the past has softened. What once felt like betrayal now feels like a lesson. What once felt like rejection now feels like redirection. This does not mean what happened was acceptable, it means it no longer controls you. You have taken your power back. My beloved child, your future is not something you need to fear. It is something you are actively creating with every choice you make. Every time you honor your worth, you shape a reality where you are respected. Every time you trust your intuition, you move closer to your true path. There will be moments of joy ahead that you cannot yet imagine, laughter that comes easily, connections that feel natural, achievements that remind you of your strength. These moments are not random. They are the result of the inner work you have done. You are no longer waiting for a reversal to happen. You are living the reversal. The person who once felt replaced has become the person who cannot be diminished. The person who once sought validation has become the person who embodies it. My beloved child, this is your new beginning. Not marked by the memory of what you lost, but by the awareness of everything you have gained. Walk forward with confidence. Carry your story with pride, not as a wound but as a testament to your resilience. Continue to choose yourself, to honor your peace, to trust your journey. Because you were never meant to remain in a place where you had to question your worth. You were meant to rise into a life where your worth is recognized naturally. And now, my beloved child, you are home within yourself. My beloved child. From this place within yourself, you will begin to see life with new eyes. Situations that once felt confusing will now appear simple. People who once seemed important will now feel like passing characters in a much larger story. And you will no longer feel the need to hold on to anything that does not honor your peace. This is what it means to return to yourself. Not to become someone new, but to remember who you were before you started doubting your own light. The confidence you are feeling now is not something you learned from the world. It is something you uncovered within your own soul. There was a time when you asked heaven to fix what was broken. Now you understand that heaven was not fixing the situation, heaven was rebuilding you. And what has been rebuilt is stronger, wiser, and more aligned than before. My beloved child, you are no longer seeking signs that you were loved. You are living in a way that reflects self-love. You take care of your energy. You choose environments that feel safe. You walk away from what feels wrong without needing long explanations. This is maturity of the heart. You have also learned that not every ending is a loss. Some endings are a release from roles you were never meant to play. Some endings are invitations to step into your true purpose. And some endings are simply the closing of a chapter that has already taught you everything you needed to learn. The story that once felt like your whole world has become a small part of your journey. It no longer defines your future. It no longer shapes your identity. It has become wisdom. My beloved child, as you move forward, you will notice something beautiful. Your life is beginning to fill with things that reflect who you truly are. Not who you tried to be for someone else, but who you are in your essence. Your interests, your passions, your dreams, they are returning to you. You may find yourself drawn to new goals, new ideas, new creative expressions. You may feel a desire to build something that belongs entirely to you, a path, a purpose, a life that is not dependent on anyone's approval. Follow that desire. It is the voice of your authentic self. You are also learning to trust time. You no longer feel the urgency to make everything happen immediately. You understand that what is meant for you will arrive when you are ready to receive it. This patience is not passive, it is powerful. My beloved child, love will come again, but this time it will meet a different version of you. A version that does not abandon herself for the sake of someone else. A version that knows her boundaries. A version that recognizes the difference between attention and genuine care. And because of this, the love that enters your life will be healthier, deeper, and more stable. It will not feel like a roller coaster. It will feel like a home. You will also notice how much lighter you feel. The emotional weight you carried for so long is no longer there. You laugh more easily. You sleep more peacefully. You think more clearly. These are signs that your spirit is free. My beloved child, freedom does not mean forgetting the past completely. It means remembering it without pain. It means being able to say, that was part of my journey, but it is not my destination. You have reached that point now. There is nothing left for you to prove. There is nothing left for you to reclaim. There is nothing left for you to compare. You are complete as you are, and from this completeness, your life will continue to expand. The reversal you once prayed for has manifested in the most meaningful way. You have been restored to yourself. You have been elevated in your own eyes. You have been aligned with your own truth. My beloved child, this is the beginning of a life where you no longer question your place, because you carry your place within you. Walk forward without fear. Trust the path that is opening. Continue to honor the peace you have cultivated. You were never replaced. You were always being guided back to your own light. My beloved child. Now that you have returned to your own light, you will begin to understand something even deeper. You were never meant to find your identity in someone else's presence. You were meant to discover it in your own soul, in your own purpose, in your own quiet strength. There was a time when you believed your story had been interrupted. Now you can see that it was only being redirected. What felt like an ending was actually a turning point, a moment where your path shifted toward something more aligned with your truth. You are no longer carrying the question, "Why did this happen to me?" Instead, you are living with the awareness, "This helped me become who I am." That awareness is your power. My beloved child, look at how you respond to life now. You pause before reacting. You listen to your intuition. You choose peace over proving a point. You walk away from what does not feel right without needing validation. These are not small changes, they are signs of a transformed heart. You have also learned to enjoy your own company. What once felt like loneliness now feels like solitude. What once felt like emptiness now feels like space, space to think, to grow, to create, to rest. This space is sacred, and you protect it with care. You no longer feel the need to check on the past, to measure your progress against someone else's life. You are focused on your own path, your own growth, your own joy. This focus is what allows your life to expand naturally. My beloved child, there will be moments ahead when you will realize just how far you have come. Perhaps you will pass by a place that once held painful memories, and instead of sadness you will feel gratitude for your strength. Perhaps you will hear their names and feel nothing at all. These moments will not be dramatic, but they will be profound. They will show you that you are free. You are also beginning to trust yourself in a way you never did before. You trust your decisions. You trust your boundaries. You trust your worth. This self-trust is the foundation of every healthy relationship and every meaningful achievement that will come into your life. My beloved child, the future that is unfolding for you is not built on the past. It is built on the person you have become. The resilience you developed, the clarity you gained, the self-respect you now carry. These will guide you into experiences that match your new energy. You will attract people who see you clearly, who respect your boundaries, who appreciate your authenticity. You will find yourself in environments where you do not have to shrink or pretend. You will feel a sense of belonging that does not require you to change who you are. And when challenges arise, as they do in every life, you will face them with a strength that your past self did not yet possess. You will not collapse under pressure. You will not question your worth. You will move through difficulties with the calm confidence that comes from knowing you have already survived something that once felt impossible. My beloved child, your story is no longer about loss. It is about growth. It is about awakening. It is about returning to yourself and discovering that you were always enough. You are no longer waiting for a reversal, because you are living it. The person who once felt replaced has become the person who cannot be diminished. The person who once sought validation has become the person who embodies it. This is your true victory, not over someone else, but over the doubt that once lived within you. As you continue forward, remember to be gentle with yourself. Growth is ongoing. There will still be days when you feel tired, when old memories briefly surface, when you need rest. Honor those moments. They do not mean you are going backward. They mean you are human. But you will always return to this center of peace, because you have built it within yourself. My beloved child, your life is now guided by your own light. You walk with confidence, not because everything is certain, but because you trust yourself. You love without fear, not because you cannot be hurt, but because you know you can heal. You were never replaced. You were being prepared. And now you are living in the truth of who you are, whole, worthy, and free.